on
Yeah.
Insta.
All I can see really when I click on your name
Okay,
is that
you go
crown. I'm
ahead,
like,
and I'll
okay.
message him back,
Right.
and then
Yeah,
answer any
King
questions,
Crow.
and I'm in there in case.
If
Okay.
you want to
Yeah,
remind me,
that's
you guys
I'll
watch
talk to you
anime at
later.
all?
Yes,
Yeah.
do.
I actually know the voice actor who
Okay.
voiced Bo 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 Bo.
Yep.
Richard
Thank you.
Epsar. He actually also voiced
Yep.
one of the Jonathan
Trying to line it
Joestar
up,
and
trying to get
JoJo's
the
Bizarre
two
Adventure.
ones.
He wishes me happy
We'll
birthday
keep
on
that
Facebook
little
every
name
year. It makes
tag
my heart
open
happy.
so I could get him.
But yeah, you look like Bo Bo Bo, like you need a bigger mustache and yellow hair. But yes, Bo 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 Bo.
Correct. So just let them know that you're in charge of that. You got
No,
this.
not him
I
again.
believe in you.
Oh, look at
Echo
that.
phase.
Okay.
What scares me?
I'm
running.
Oh, it's Ender.
I know.
Yes, you
I
should
know.
run.
There you go.
You don't put your back to Ender ever.
But yeah, just just tell
Leave
them.
people getting here, by the way, bro.
Shane, are you an emoji today?
Oh my goodness, look at all the people.
Maybe.
This is the most people I've ever
Maybe
seen.
I
on
am.
Banter.
I gotta get going.
Hello,
I gotta
Emoji
get
with
going.
connotations.
You have swords.
Waffle Man.
That's awesome. What's good? Ah! Sorry, I'm still getting used to trying to thumbs up, and when I do that, I start flying away.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
thumbs up
Yeah,
is
gotta be
rope
careful.
down.
Yeah, rope
And
down.
then-
Wait.
Well-
Oh no.
Or maybe I
Hey,
should put a different
all right,
video on. This is
down,
probably gonna be too
And
loud.
thumbs up. There you go. Good
There you
job.
go.
Love you. No wait, can't I do no. Ah! Yay. Still getting used to that.
The liquid is good. As a little bit of background.
Hey, Shihan,
Yeah.
come over here.
What up, Zoe?
Don't be offended, okay?
Oh boy. I haven't seen his avatar yet.
That's what I was trying to do. I
Fire
can't
has
remember
joined
how
the
to
space.
do it.
Hang on,
Start
let me
the
get
trigger and then
into
click
position here so
down
I can just
right, thumb
There we
click.
go.
look down on all you guys.
No,
Hello.
Solaris needs to be the drop.
Wow, am I going through sleep paralysis right now?
Solaris is afraid that they're not
Oh, no.
because she's a woman.
Trigger. Down,
I'm an
down
eggplant
with-
emoji,
trigger
guys.
down
What
with
about this,
the-
Ender? Would you like?
With
Do you like this avatar this
with-
week? Yeah, this is good.
Right joystick. Click down right
Shout out to
joystick.
Ravioli.
There it
This
is.
is one of
Oh,
his
wow.
bad boys.
Did you know you could do that?
Although I think it is on the side quest
See behind it?
subdomain on the side quest. The main avatar
Whoa.
system I think has this one.
Oh my god.
So yeah, hello. How are you doing? Welcome.
Dev.
No, it's
Yeah.
Honor.
Reset your height.
Ah.
It was Lee actually who came to me about this avatar. Was really eager to get it on the platform, and
Yeah, I was
I think we can all see why,
pushing it.
right?
yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
We're not
Uh,
touching that one.
Looks great.
Right. Anyway, this isn't the Tech Waffle event, although it might evolve into it. Let me get on with it. Welcome. Thanks for coming. This is our weekly event called the Banter-Ama, right? And it's basically an AMA where you can ask any questions and we can answer any questions. And sometimes it's tricky to get things started, to get somebody up to the podium in terms of asking the first question. So I love to waffle on, and today I can do it as a, what do you call it, Lee? You say it real strange? Aubergine or something. How do you say it? Aubergine. Right, that's right.
Aubergine.
So
Aubergine.
just gonna rock my head from left to right for your amusement. Iron Wolf, there's another thing I've been doing at this other event. Aubergine, that's right, yeah. Something I've been doing recently is just calling on people rather than waiting for them to come up and ask questions. So I'll tell you what, yeah, Waffle Man, I'll come to you in just a moment. I see you there, but I'm going to call on Iron Wolf since he's close to the podium. How we normally do this, by the way, is you just come up to the center of the beach there and I'll answer your question. Go ahead, Iron Wolf.
Yes, when I work from home, maybe I have a half hour or something that I don't do anything, and then I pull out my Steam Deck and I launch Banter on the Steam Deck, and I noticed that the video player doesn't work in Steam Deck on Banter.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to say that.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Steam Deck is kind of an unofficially supported platform right now. Supporting it meant a custom version of Proton on your Steam Deck at the time, but it seems like since then there's been some more problems. Honestly, I'm not too sure. Sometimes I hear that it works, and other times I hear that it doesn't. but there isn't official support, unfortunately, right now for Steam Deck. So it's not something that we have an official build out for. I can tell you that we are working towards that, and what we'd actually ideally prefer to have is maybe native support for Steam Deck, right? Maybe an actual Linux build rather than just a Windows build. And other times I hear we've been delving into a number of things recently, particularly some of my team fairly excited about the Apple Vision Pro. Have been trying to get Banter running there, and honestly, if they can get it running there, they can get it running anywhere, right? So yeah, I think we want to definitely support Steam Deck. I think that's a great device, and that kind of device is a great one. Hey Appy, I see you with your hand up. I appreciate that. We do things slightly differently in this event, where we kind of have a little queue here up to the middle of the beach. So I don't know if you wanted to jump in behind Waffle Man maybe, and I can get you in order. But I'll go ahead. Thanks for that one, Iron Wolf.
Thank you.
And Meta Voice. Oh, you've swapped. You want me to go Waffle Man first?
You said Waffle Man, so I thought I'd let him go first. I do have a question though. I'll go after him.
Kudos. Go ahead, Waffle Man. Your megaphone to the room. Everybody can see and hear you.
Oh, that's not intimidating at all. Hello, hi, Waffle Man. This is one of my. I've just started using Banter recently. I use Horizon a lot. I'm an entertainer in there. I absolutely love it in here. I have to say the number one thing I love so much that just has me addicted to this place are oh, it won't let me use them.
the Spider-Man.
That was
ropes.
perfect. That was so
I was
Nice.
just trying to go down, but yeah, those I love them so much. And my question is, will there ever be any way to accessorize them? Like, can I be shooting Kratos's blades to get around one day? Will that be a thing from God of War?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting one. I mean, obviously, right now we're kind of really focused on trying to put cool stuff into the game, but we kind of joked about down the line, building a Banter Plus, and maybe we'll let you change the color of your ropes or something like that. But no, I think, in the future we could for sure look at trying to be honest, that one mechanic is actually very rough. I have to be honest. It's very rough, but we put it in because it's honestly a lot of fun, and we enjoyed it. We thought other people would too, and with the way things are physics based in here, it really lends itself really well. But I hope to be able to improve on that Spider-Man mechanic considerably to polish that quite a bit more than it is. And we've a few other things in the works actually as well. We're working with a third party to help us build out some flying mechanics, some native flying mechanics, right? So if any of you have ever played Zenith, or I think they've even got this in Horizons now as well, right? Where you can maybe fly by putting your hands out like
I don't
that
know
in
about
some-
Horizon. I've never done
you
that.
can script it into worlds, correct.
I haven't seen
Gotcha.
that yet, but yeah, I used to play
I have
Zenith
no
a lot.
problem.
So yeah,
Yes, you
I
have,
love
Waffle
that.
Man. You
So, oh my
flew.
goodness.
Yeah.
I don't remember flying. But yes, that was that's awesome. I have several other questions, but I'll leave them for later. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it.
Hi
Go ahead,
there.
Meta Voice.
Meta
to
Voice
see you
here. Good to see you. Remember, everyone, to push that heart on the world to make sure to save the world if you haven't already.
Yeah.
So my tech guy couldn't get here, so I'm asking a tech question, and so I hope you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm kind of recording for this question so that he can
Shoot.
hear it later. So it is, if it would be allowed to integrate ChatGPT Pi's AI software library extensions into a Game Genie Copilot that could come out of your wrist panel and interact with your in-game calendar, contact list, menu hub, and game map to work as an in-game digital assistant.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. So, yeah.
He
I
said
mean,
he was thinking
partially.
he could use A-Frame as a glue for the ChatGPT Pi API to incorporate it. That's all I got
Yeah.
on it. So your questions, I'll take it.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Well, first of all, maybe it's a good opportunity to say the event is live streamed. So if any of you guys are interested, you can probably watch it back on our YouTube channel if he wants to watch back and hear what I'm
Okay.
saying, to save you needing to do a recording and pass that on in future. But to your question, So the approach that we have is we've got an integrated browser in the game. Every world is a web page. That's kind of how it works here on Banter. And what that means is that you not only have JavaScript, the most popular coding language on the planet, you also have the full power of the browser stack and all of the bits and pieces that are kind of built into that. So that means you can do lots of crazy stuff with all sorts of APIs, including ChatGPT and various other different things. You can connect things together. You can have it do real-time things. You can do lots of stuff. We have a gallery-based space, right, where we're using actually Whisper, which is another OpenAI product they've produced, which is able to do speech to text, really accurate speech to text in a lot of different languages. And we've been using it here in Banter for the voice stuff, right? So if you're in the gallery, you're generating some images with the AI in there. Another great example of using AI in your world. So yeah, without me going off on a tangent and waffling on, in a nutshell, MetaVoice, yeah, you can absolutely do that. I think maybe the part about being able to access the core services of the game itself, to be able to leverage those as part of ChatGPT, that's something I haven't put a whole lot of thought into, but I'd love to explore that use case and see if there's a way for us to do that in a way maybe that, you know, users might be able to sort of opt into, right? Give their consent, grant permission for a space to be able to access their messaging and their contacts and their friends and other stuff, to be able to leverage that data to feed into, you know, pretty much anything that they could want. But
yeah,
I think what we're working on, which is going to be the new paradigm soon, is version 2 of the SDK for building worlds. I won't go into too much detail, but it's going to provide a lot more kind of seamless integration between 3D objects and, you know, web-based data, and being able to kind of just plug those things in together in many interesting ways.
Well, that's really exciting. I'm definitely going to have to get him with you to talk more tech lingo. And so I'll have him look at this, but I look forward to the future, as always. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, MetaVoice. And Appy, I think you're next.
Yeah, I was a bit confused
Go ahead.
where the line was.
That's
so
okay.
basically, I have my housemate in uni. She's doing a master's in UI design, and currently her dissertation's on VR, and she also has I think a group project on VR. And she asked me for help because like I use VR a lot. And her question was, so basically her topic is on gender equality, but the basis is how can you make VR usable? So what she meant is, how can you carry out tasks such as grocery shopping, and what sort of tasks can VR carry out, and how to base it on gender equality. For example, in the past, women were housewives and stuff like that. So this was her question, and she wanted to know like more areas for her essay, basically. If you could give any advice on this, so I could tell her.
Gotcha. Okay, so maybe just for me to understand, what was exactly the question there, just so I can answer it properly. Was it how to use VR to better demonstrate gender equality?
So the question was, how could VR carry out tasks? That's the main question. Like, for example, can it be applied to grocery shopping and carry out tasks in the real world? But the specific topic is aimed at gender equality that she chose. Gotcha.
I understand. You know, it's a really interesting thing. I think there's kind of this conflicting idea that, you know, VR can let you do anything, so why would you want to do mundane things with it, right? You want to go and fly through space. You don't want to go and walk down a shopping aisle, right? Or you don't want to play a board game at home. You want to be on your couch, you know, doing something mad. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But what's interesting is how much people tend to sort of associate with things that they also have in the real world, that they get to kind of contrast and compare those things and get to sort of experience them in a way that, you know, sorry, I'm just plugging in a power cable here. That I don't know. It sort of gives them that feeling of it being real. That maybe adds to immersion or something like that, right? So, I mean, to your point, one example of that, maybe just before I dig into your point, but one example of that is a phone, right? Skizot, who's I'm hoping a lot of you are familiar with, has built a space in here where you could just go in and pick up a phone and kind of feel it and touch it with your hands and interact with it. And it's surprising how much people engage with that, even though it's quite limited, screen real estate and all that kind of things. But people seem to have a familiarity with that, which is kind of strange. But shopping, right? Grocery shopping is the example that you kind of used. I actually built a shopping system in the past on a previous platform called Altspace VR back in the day. We called it Marché City, and it integrated with Amazon's Associate API, and it was able to list products from different categories and that kind of thing. And honestly, at the time, I didn't really put a whole lot into it, but I recently read an article that was done that basically showed that at the end of the day, the novelty for that kind of thing could wear off very quickly, and ultimately people are going to fall back to wanting to just go to Amazon on their phone. For the last 20 years, we've been moving away from high street shopping to just using our phones and using the internet, and now trying to move back to that in VR may or may not work. So I don't know. Those are some of my thoughts on that. And I mean, in terms of yeah, I don't know. I hope I answered your question.
I'm good.
He's good.
But what happens? But what if you apply to gender equality, especially when we think that women are suppressed, and how to make her role is like? I think she's trying to integrate tasks that women can do based on gender equality. And she wanted to know whether there's any advice or any ideas when it comes to that.
I mean, it's an interesting question. I think when it comes to trying to build something like this, at least in terms of how we've been building it, I think we've had a fairly decent spectrum of genders across the team, especially those who are kind of in a position to be able to affect change, let's say, here on the platform. But I guess I'm struggling to think of anything that really differentiates one gender from another here, other than the female variant of the rigging for the avatar. There is a male and a female variant there. I think potentially we have some work to do on some of the hand rigging, let's say, between the male and the female, or Ready Player Me more specifically do. But we're hoping to work with them on that. I can't think of anything really on here that you wouldn't be able to do, no matter what gender you were. And I think as a platform, as a company, we like to kind of think of ourselves as a bit more forward thinking and a bit more diverse in our thinking, and at least we try to consider equality at every juncture that we can, where we think that it kind of matters. But I'm not sure. There's lots of different things you could do, right, in terms of maybe creating awareness of gender inequality in some scenarios. You could create experiences in here that allow people to kind of simulate a scenario where that could be the case, right? I think it's always good to have that kind of step into your shoes kind of situation to be able to better understand what it's like to walk that mile as somebody else. And I think maybe creating awareness and showing people how the world is changing when it comes to gender equality is important, but I can definitely say for sure, whenever it comes to every decision we make, and it comes to deciding, everything from who we should hire to how much we should pay them, we thankfully aren't burdened by having to take that into consideration.
Great answer.
Hey, that's a good answer.
That's a very good answer.
Thanks.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you, Appy. I appreciate that question.
Thank you, Appy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Can I go for it now?
Yeah, go ahead, Meta
Thank you.
Voice.
There we go.
You're megaphone.
Yay! You can't silence the voice. So, one thing I definitely want to say is I respect your professionalism. You've been handling all the questions quite well. When it comes to like, I know you're able to stream in worlds and stuff, the different events that you're having. What is your take on this platform when it comes to sponsors from IRL businesses that might want to put their business logo or their advertisement in the event world when an event's going on? Is that completely okay?
I would say yes. I wouldn't take any issue of it. You know,
Okay.
since Banter, like I say, is like every world is a web page. You know, web pages are often, you know, the one-stop shop for a brand portfolio.
Expect
Let's
ads
say.
these days, you know.
I mean, building out worlds and leveraging web technologies in any way is interesting, and branding that and creating that kind of following around what you're doing in that sense, no matter what it is, right? If you're creating content, if you're doing performances, I think people should be able to be aware of that. I mean, we're actually interested. Like I've been pursuing this with some prominent members, Remarcus, who runs a VR arcade. We're looking into ways he can leverage Banter to actually create his own games and run them in his VR arcade, because that could be cost saving in terms of him having to pay for costly commercial licenses for games, that kind of thing, as well as being able to, you know, have control over what he kind of builds and creates. And we're also looking at ways to maybe try and integrate other, you know, crowd funding systems into Banter. In fact, we don't even have to look for ways to do that because it's already possible with the web stack. But, you know, things like Coffee or Patron or things like that, you know, you could give people within your world special statuses based on memberships that they've got. So I don't know. That's a
terrific idea.
It's a long-winded answer, but in a nutshell, yeah, I mean, if you're doing something cool like that, I'd just love to hear about it to see if there's any way we can kind of get behind it. We've always been about trying to breed success, so...
I'm very successful in other platforms that are like this and very well known over there. And so I do have companies and businesses that I work with IRL inside of Web3 as well that would like to get their names in different things. It's just the traction and everything. So I would love to talk to you more about it. I got a team right now building and trying to do all that stuff. So we'll definitely get more into it. Let me get back in line because I have another question, but I don't want to take up the entire time. So I'll get back in line, okay? But we'll talk more.
That's very polite of you. Yeah, no problem. Thank you. This is great. We've got a very active AMA today, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. Sometimes I have to sit and waffle on myself, so much so that, yeah, we had to create an event dedicated to just waffling. Hey, Waffle Man.
I do the waffling here, all right?
Yeah.
Look at me. Sorry. Look at me. I'm the waffle now, all right? All right, no, but really.
Okay, we need a waffle avatar.
No, I haven't, like, in real life, I have a Waffle Man persona. Don't even get me started. Anywho. So, yeah, please make me my Waffle Man a reality. Anywho. But no, my main question is, I'm also a singer, I musical theater, this, that, and the other. I'm in a band in real life. My question is, I do singing in different, you know, VR apps, but it's hard, number one, with the mic quality, but you can deal with that. But the main thing I would like to do one day is make sure that everything's in sync. Like, now I've seen here, I can sing karaoke and get it synced up to where everyone can hear that. But can people sing duets and be able to be heard at the same time and be in time with each other and there not be a lag? Is there also a way to, like, incorporate, like, people playing instruments to where it can be heard in here while we're all playing live? Is that possible?
Yeah.
And if so, how?
That is a good question. Thank you for asking that one.
Yeah, so it's a really good question. It's something that we've talked about a lot, and we've worked a lot on it. And I can give you, as best I can understand, the challenges, let's say, you face when you're trying to do that. So a few months back, we had a completely different networking stack. And what I mean when I say networking is all of the voice information, as well as all of everybody's positions and their hands and their gestures and all that kind of stuff. it was really bad. It had some really bad noise cancellation that would remove anything other than voice. So being able to bring instruments through was often just not possible. And we had a bunch of other problems with it, right? It didn't scale. It sounded horrible after a certain number of people in the room. But we've since moved to a service called Photon, right? Which is very, it's been around for a long time, very commonly used in these kinds of games. And it scales way better. And actually has quite a bit more, quite a lot more quality to the audio as well. So, and we've control over that, really, a lot more control over that. So we've cranked it up because singing is a pretty popular use case on the platform. We've got multiple karaoke events run by different groups of people in different time zones, all sorts of stuff.
Shout out to Zell Rayner. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's who brought me over here, by the way.
Yeah, she's honestly brought a lot of you guys, and it is appreciated. Thank you so much, wherever you are. I can't see you. Oh,
I think she's up there.
Opposite side.
I'm
Opposite
here,
side.
right next to Sheila.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, so the challenges, to get back to it. So our karaoke player tries to synchronize things up, and there is some automatic synchronization that goes on behind the scenes. Whenever people come in and the song starts to play, it does something between the server and the clients to try and synchronize them all just before they start to sync. At one point, we had like a manual button you could press where it would try to resync you or resync you if it goes too far out of sync. But in the end, those two little skip buttons at the bottom turned out to be the best utility to be able to control the synchronization, because what they do is let you offset the song for you yourself locally, so that whatever you're hearing from their voice, you can correct for it. And honestly, that's been the most effective method. To your point about being able to synchronize multiple people's voices, that's something that we haven't figured out yet. And the sort of challenges we've come across is just generally latency. Right now I'm connected. I'm out in the sticks in Spain, and I'm connected through Starlink, which has very low latency, usually less than 20 milliseconds. But it wouldn't be uncommon for it to be, up to 150 milliseconds in some cases, or maybe much higher if somebody's internet is struggling for some reason, right? So in those cases, it's very difficult to be able to compensate for that, especially because using the voice service that we've got, we really don't have that much control over the rate at which the voice is kind of received. So it's something that we'll likely have to try and either implement ourselves in the future if we replace our voice solution with something completely custom that we build, or if we can somehow work with Photon to do that. That's definitely something that we want to spend more time on and try and explore, because like I say, so many people on the platform love to sing. So many of our own staff love to get involved and do that too, which is clearly good. One thing I'll say, maybe just before we jump into the next question, we have 3 minutes until we move on to the next event, which is actually very similar to this. So we can probably just shift in there. Maybe you guys can jump in as the first guys in the queue in there. It's typically about making spaces on the platform, but I mean, I'm easy. We can just talk about whatever. I don't mind. Maybe I'll do a quick roundup for Shoseki just so that he can close up the stream. Thank you, everybody, for coming. This is our Banter-Ama. We do this once a week. You can come in, ask any questions you like. Aline over here is wearing a Minotaur-style avatar that was generated within a couple of seconds using some new AI model generation system. Honestly, mostly unmodified, I think. I love it. Everybody's cool. Gather around.
Somebody put him in a maze.
I'll megaphone it so you can see. It's got tiny back legs and really big front legs. Yeah. That's what the AI thought it needed. So, oh
but
god,
it has some really muscles.
Yes, it is.
Like he's about
I want
to
to
buck his
pet
back
you.
legs.
Yeah. It's fun.
I need to see
fun.
that in action.
The
Let's
Good
next event
Minotaur.
is going to be
Unrefined as well, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Space
Okay, so
Maker.
listen,
Also
I'm just
doesn't
gonna
have any hands. So I only
I'm just gonna start slapping down
mittens.
portals to the next space. If you guys want to bounce in there, and
We
we
go
can
there.
we can